Hey everybody, today I've got a 2000 Ranger and the gentleman was complaining about a noise in the back. So we have it up on the rack. We have the front supported by a jack stand. We have another jack stand here. We have two jack stands underneath the rear end. I took the spare tire out. The reason why is because the frame mount here for this upper spring has rotted away. See, it's broken. So let's show you the other side. So this is what the other side looks like. You have your spring goes into the shackle and then bolts to the frame perch here. Frame perch, yes. The frame perch is completely rotted out on this side and it's been hitting the bed. So we bought a kit that has everything we need. 2 new frame perches and bolts, 2 new shackles, spring bushings, and all the bolts. So we already got it up in the air, got it supported, and now what we need to do is start to take everything apart. I guess we'll start on the bad side, and usually up here, and you can see, I'm going to take my air hammer. Actually, this looks like this might be bolted. I might get up here with a torch and we're going to cut these bolts off first and then put the new, and we're going to disconnect the other side spring so we can lower this down and get it out of our way. So let me get in here and start cutting this frame perch off, and then we'll get this built out so we can start fixing this Ranger. All right, so this is a 21 and a 21. We're going to see if it busts free. Go ahead. All right, it is moving. Let me get some spray so it helps lubricate that. Okay, go ahead. Wait a minute, pull it off. That is actually sliding on there. So that nut is not coming off because we are using a 12-point wrench. So we're gonna have to get something that's gonna fit on that. Let me get another socket and we'll be back. All right, so we went ahead and put a 6-point socket on here. Go ahead. And it came off. So go ahead and get that bolt out. You might have to put the gun on it, right, and use a wrench. You might have to put the gun on it and put a wrench on it. You have, yeah, get one of the 17s and I'll show you how to do it here. All right, so now what he's going to do is I'm going to push on the wrench. Go ahead. And there, they'll come right out. Okay, so now that is out, we should be able to pull this shackle and what's left of the upper frame mount. So there is what is left of the upper frame mount. So pretty nasty. So that was actually pretty good. Now we do have new bushings for this, and it definitely looks like this is going to need a new bushing. So we're going to get the ball joint press out, and hopefully a tool that I made will be able to get these out. So we're going to try it on this side. And up here, as you can see, this actually has a rivet and a rivet. We're going to get the torch, or we're going to use the air hammer, cut that. These over here actually, they're bolts. So it's got a bolt plate. Yeah, it's got a bolt plate right here, but we're gonna, yeah, rebolt that, not a problem. All right, let's keep getting it. Okay, on this side, we're not gonna be able to get the impact gun up in here. So we have a 21 on a long ratchet, and we're gonna use this 21 again on this end. All right, go ahead and, is it coming? Oh, yeah, it's coming. Oh, and excellent. The problem with these usually is these bolts get seized up in this bushing, and then it's a mother to get them apart. But this one's actually coming right apart with how rusty and crusty this car is. All right, so we're gonna get this wrenched apart, so then we can lower our 2 jack stands there to get these down here to a working height to be able to use the ball joint press to get these bushings out. A lot of people don't change these bushings, but they came in the kit, and it looks like this one's not in the center anymore, so we're gonna go ahead and change it. All right, so you got the nut off of this end, so we hit it with a hammer, but now the bolt is hitting against the bumper bracket. So should we take the bumper loose, or should we just go ahead and take a pry bar? We'll take a stick of pry bar in here and give it a little pull, and then we should be able to get that knocked out the rest of the way. So that is exactly what we did. We shoved the pry bar in here, and I pulled down on the spring, and then G Junior took out another pry bar. Go ahead, just hit the bolt, and we got it past the bumper bracket. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yep. You're almost there. Almost there. There we go. So yeah, see, this side needs to be fixed too, because this is just paper thin. Okay, so now that he's cut that out, we might drop the exhaust down, but we're gonna go ahead and just start cranking down on the rear end to get this thing a little easier to work with. We might have to pop this. We might have to pop the shocks off to get this down farther. But I think I can work in here, and I think I can work in there. So, all right, we're gonna get in here. We're gonna cut this mount out. And then I'm going to see if I can get in here to cut this mount out without having to worry about any of this stuff here. And we're going to go ahead and pre-assemble this stuff with the upper bolt on the frame mount, because this has a special nut that held it back here that automatically tightened. We're not going to be that lucky, so we're going to have to tighten it up. Probably where this one is, which is straight up and down. But we're gonna get in here next and start cutting these rivets off. Alrighty, we got our hearing protectors on, and we're gonna start cutting these rivets off. I have an extra long bar, and we're just gonna go ahead and the rust is gonna fly. Okay, these rivets are still pretty strong. It's everything else that rotted out, so I might have to get in. I can't get a good angle because the spring's in the way. We might have to get in here with a torch after all. All right, I'm going to change air hammers and try this other air hammer I have and see if it's any stronger. Okay, so we used the air chisel, knock those out, and then over here we're using the cut-off wheel to cut a groove in the nut, and now he's going to take the air hammer and just knock that off. Go ahead, get in there. Okay, hold on. Try to get the cutter in your hole that you just cut. So we're getting the nuts to spin. So we'll work on this. We'll keep working on this. Okay, on the back of the frame, it had this nut holder that fit in the frame like this. So I had to take the bolt out of the bumper bracket and loosen the bumper bracket to pull the blind nut so this would slide out. So you're gonna have to take the bumper loose anyway. So if you're doing this job, you might want to just go ahead and pull the bumper, then you get that out of your way. So we have basically this side almost all ready, except for getting the bushing out. We haven't even started on doing the other side. So we'll go ahead and finish doing this side, then the other side's the same way, but we'll go ahead and continue working. Okay, so we used the ball joint press to press the bushing out. Now on this car here, the replacement bushing has an outside metal sleeve, but this one actually did not have a metal sleeve. It was just the rubber pressed into the eyelet and then the centerpiece. So we were able to use this ball joint adapter, and we were able just to push it right in. And then once we pushed it in, we were able to get a pair of pliers and pull the rest of the rubber out, which is down here. All right, so we just used that. So now G Junior is getting a piece of sandpaper and cleaning this up. I also took the air hammer and knocked all the scale out of it, so there's still a little bit at the bottom here. So he is getting some sandpaper and some other things to try to get in here and clean this out a little bit better, so we can press the new bushing in. Actually, it feels like it's pretty good. We might be able, we're gonna lube this up really good with some oil, and then we might be able just to hammer this baby home. Let's see how it fits this way. Oh yeah, we're gonna be able to hammer this baby home, no problem. Once we lube it up, we'll be able to put it in this side and just drive it on in. All right, we went ahead and put some of the G's Magic stuff on the bushing and in the spring. And this is a 24 millimeter socket that fits the outside edge perfectly. So I'm gonna try to get it in with just a hammer. If I can't, then I'll use the ball joint press to get it in. So I have my brass hammer that I'm going to use, and we'll see if we can just go ahead and drive it on home. How much? Just a little tiny bit more. How's that look? All the way in. Yep, there we go.
So, you might have to tap it, maybe. I guess it's okay.
Let's see. I think that's probably pretty good.
That's probably as close as it's going to get. So.
Well, maybe, yeah, you're right. Maybe let me hit it one more.
Yeah, just
let me tap it one more time to get this metal piece into the thing. I think that's it, isn't it? Yep, that looks good. If I have to back it up, I can back it up.
All right, yeah, that looks good.
Maybe a little too far now.
I don't worry about it. It's fine.
All right, there we go. All right, so surprisingly, that bushing went really nice. So now we're going to get the upper mount in, and if you see on this side here, the shackle is tightened straight up and down, because we're not going to be able to get to that bolt behind there, because when they put this thing together, they probably put it together with the bed off. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put the shackle straight up and down, just like this one, and then we should be okay for the other side. So let me get that assembled, and we'll come back and show you on that side the upper mount and the shackle. Alrighty, bonus footage. People are going to complain that I didn't show getting the other bushing out. So here we go. I've got the ball joint press in here. G Junior is going to work this. We're going to press it into here. Now the problem is I really need to use this one, but this one won't fit in there. So we have to start it with the smaller one and put this bigger one in. All right, go ahead. Okay, did you feel it bottom out?
I don't know. It's shaking.
Okay, yeah, it bottomed out. I can see. Okay, so back it off. Okay, stop. So now take this out, and you can see we got it partially out. So now I can put the long one in here.
Back it off.
I'll back it off a hair more. Hold on. All right, so I think we're gonna have to take it completely apart and put this in here because it won't. Oh, there it goes. Okay. All right, go ahead and tighten it up. You got it in there?
Just making sure.
Yeah.
I don't want to screw this.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Back it off. Okay, hold on, let me see. Is it back it out some more? Got to back it out some more. Hold on, let me see.
I'm out.
You're out. Okay,
Well,
it's almost out. So actually, maybe we should go ahead and here. Can you hold the camera for a second? Let me get this back in here. All right, go ahead and hit it. Actually, we probably could have done it this way anyway. I thought this thing might have had a metal sleeve in it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Stop. Stop. All right. Go ahead. 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 It's going. It's going. It's still going.
All right, more?
Yeah, go. Hold on, let me see.
It's not.
You know, we should be pretty close to being all the way through. All right, go ahead and back it off. All right, let's, oh, it came out. It was being held in by the rubber. All right, you got grab that, got it? All right, so this is the push pin out of that. So now we'll get that out with a pair of pliers, and then we'll just get in here with a knife. Oh, there it is. And we'll just cut the rest of the rubber out and clean this up. Oh, there it goes. This one's hot. Here, it just needs to go in there. We need to clean those threads up a little bit now. So now, like I said, we just gotta dig the rubber out of here, and we need to clean up this bottom edge where the rust sits, and we'll knock the new bushing in, which I already showed you on the other side. All right, so there's the bonus footage of how to get the bushing out. We really didn't need to use the adapters because this has a big enough hole, but I thought the adapter would be better because then, if you notice, we almost ran out of threads down here when we had it all the way extended. All right, everybody, that's 5. All right, so I copied the other side, and I have the shackle pointing straight down off the new bracket because I'm not going to be able to get in here to get that nut, anything on that nut to hold it tight. So now all we have to do is take the bolts and we're going to stick it up here, and we're going to start nutting and bolting it in. One. And now these, you'll notice these nuts are dimpled there, so when you tighten them up, they're an automatic. See that how it won't go through because it's an automatic locking nut because of that design. All right. Okay. I don't know what size these are. We'll find out in a little bit. Oh man, don't tell me it's not gonna fit. Come on, baby. We're gonna have to loosen that back up so I can get the, I guess I could just put it backwards. Then I won't have to worry about this bolt being in the way of the bumper bolt. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that so then this won't be in the way of the bumper bolt. Yeah, I guess the bumper bolt comes right up here, and then I'd have to cut that off. So we'll put that one in backwards. All right, so we'll go ahead and tighten that up, and we'll we'll come back and show you what it looks like, you know, basically all completed on this side. We still have to do the other side. Alrighty, we have the new frame perch bolted to the frame. We put the bolts this way, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cut that off later. We got this bolt loose because what we're gonna do is we're gonna let the car on the ground and then we'll tighten this one up. I know this one looks a little cockeyed, but that's because we don't have that side together. And then inside here, we have all those bolts tight, nuts and bolts tight. We have to put the bumper bolt back in, but we're still working on this side so we don't have it. So I think I covered everything except for really pushing the bushing out. You need a ball joint press. You push the center out. Once you press the center out on these, there is no metal sleeve like there is now because the new bushing has a metal sleeve. So we'll tighten all this stuff up after it's on the ground. So there you go. That's how you put the upper perch mount on the back of a 2000 Ranger pickup truck. All right, everybody, I think I'll leave it here. Thanks for watching. You can always subscribe right there in that corner, and please give me a thumbs up if you like my automotive videos.